your host, Jack Purcell. Scissor me, daddy ass. Louis Perry, here comes. Don't forget to subscribe and click the bell. Faces and Heels Podcast.
Welcome to the Faces and Heels Podcast, where tonight Louis Perry's trading punchlines for the buffet line as we're going full feast mode with the blood, sweat, and tears champion, Bobby Buffet. He's going to be joining us in about 10 minutes.
Yep, and then I'm going to be like, maybe take the dive. I'm not feeling good, Jack. I can't do it. Cut me, Mick.
Oh, come on. You don't have that give-up attitude.
I do today. I got to throw in the towel because Eric Hunting is here. I hung out with Eric Hunting on Saturday for a little bit. And, well, it wasn't me. It was General Ursus from Planet of the Apes. He told me that he hung out with Eric. And he was talking smack about you. Not Eric, but General Ursus was. The video is gone from Facebook because there was a problem. And Eric says, put the gear on, General. I don't know what he's talking about, but General Ursus from Planet of the Apes, he was saying some bad stuff about you, Jack. And
Really?
yeah, like, the only good human is a dead human. That's one of the things that he said. But he was saying some awful things about you. And I don't know. He told me he liked Eric, though. He was talking to Eric for a bit, and other people were chiming in. And but there was something wrong. But his voice wasn't really working the way it was supposed to. People said it was, but when I guess the video was watched later on, the voice wasn't working because something. I don't know what happened. But the general guy, maybe he got sick, or the voice thing didn't quite work.
Well, it's called
And he didn't he didn't sound like him.
karma for talking smack about me. There you go. Universe gave him like that side.
I don't know. That sounds like General Ursus here. Maybe. I don't know. But he was talking smack about you.
Hey,
And
let him talk smack.
I felt bad. And Eric said it right there. He hung out with Macho General. Yeah, he wore like a pink cowboy hat too with the gorilla head. I don't know, Jack.
Oh,
you have to find out about that guy because he was being very rude about you. And saying
I've never
smack.
met anybody like that before.
No, not at all. Not at all. Hey, Jack, I heard you're going to be at Rhode Island Comic-Con and going to be on a crazy talk show. Is that true?
I was just going to say the same thing. I am returning to Rhode Island Comic-Con after being absent for a number of years. So we'll be in the same place. And who knows, maybe the Faces and Heels podcast is going to have some kind of surprise live broadcast. Who knows what could happen? Oh,
well, they are. And you're also going to be hanging out with some crazy angry person. And you're going to be on stage with them. Because you're going to be, I heard that you are one of the not ready for RICC players. And Will Yates comes in and says, woo, I will. So I really got to get better because I got lots of stuff to do at RICC. And I can't wait. You know what? Where I'm going to? I'm going to AEW Collision on Saturday night. And yeah, I can't wait. I'm going to hang out with Eric Yako, one of our sponsors. He does the trivia, old school wrestling trivia from Alternate Universe LLC, Milford in New Haven. I'm going to go hang out with him. I'm going to hang out with Joe Mack, who always comes on every week, and Joe Goulart. Joe Goulart, he's, we're going to go hang out and go see AEW.
So you're going to miss Pro Wrestling Grind on Friday night? Is that what you're saying? Again?
I got to get...
Man, Delmy's not going to be happy.
I know. She always going to threaten to beat me up. I don't know. Maybe. We'll see. It depends because I got to get some more stuff done from Rhode Island. You got a sneak peek of one of the things that's going to be happening at Rhode Island.
Right.
Yep. So My phone just went off. I thought I'm very unprofessional tonight. I thought,
tonight.
yeah, tonight. I thought I'm like really under the weather here. Um, and Jack, where's your guest, man?
He's a
And
few minutes late. The buffet line was long tonight. Just give him a few minutes. He can't control how many people are in the buffet line. He's gonna be here.
and why did Cody just text me $10? Huh?
Eric says you're going to disappoint the God Queen. I know, Eric. I mean, this guy, how many times can he tolerate disappointing her? She's got to fight. Oh my God. We should talk about this card a little bit. She's fighting Gary J. Do you remember what Gary J did to Ryan Mooney in the match that they had at Grind? Maybe, what was
No,
it,
I probably wasn't there.
last year? Oh, yeah, you probably weren't. But Ryan Mooney got torn up. This guy had broken blood vessels. He had all kinds of bright red marks all over his
Hold
neck,
on a
chest, and
second.
back.
Well, I assure you 100%, I will feel better for Rhode Island Comic Con. I will be there on stage in living color, and I will be the Western Massachusetts Macho Man. I will be the Western Massachusetts Elvis Presley. I will be on stage moderating, wristband wearing, all my bling. I will be there to bring to the masses what you guys expect out of a moderator. I will be there, and I will be there, and I will be in living color, baby. Don't you have to worry about that. I will be there. I will the quarterback of moderating will be there as what I am called. Behind I am. They call me. I don't even know what that means. I don't even know what that means, and they call me that. I said, you mean the locker room leader? But yeah, but they call me that. But don't worry about it. Will I will be there. I just started feeling this way today. I'm gonna take a gallon of NyQuil and I'll be fine. Don't worry about it. But like when Jack gets his guest, I am gonna just go backstage. I gotta do something because like when you feel not good and like crap happen. Even Ali, Ali in the house. Ali says you're complaining about your amazing son giving you money. Take the $10. What the hell is he talking about? I don't know. 10. Take the 10.
Eric, yeah,
10.
let's talk about something pro wrestling. That's right. There's going to
Yes.
be two
Yes.
new cards debuting. The printer is playing games with me right now. They don't know if the cards are going to make it in time. So they might be here Friday afternoon.
Was that the guy I had to go talk to last time in
No,
North Haven?
no, somebody different. And here's the deal. We are celebrating Joseph Alexander returning from injury with an
I know that
A-game
guy.
card.
Yep, I know that game. Okay.
No,
I
you
know
know
that
him
guy.
because he was a guest on the Greatest Wrestling Podcast. And Becca with a 3. So we got 2 new cards.
I know her
Becca
too.
and A-game. That's right. Well, she was also a guest on our podcast. So and we're going to have A-game returning against Mr. Delaney, who you may know, Colin Delaney, from a variety of pro wrestling organizations
Yep,
throughout the last whatever
I do.
decade and 2
Yeah,
decades. But having said that, we talked about Delmy Exo against Gary J. That's going to be hard hitting and
I know
insane.
her.
And Griffin, we have Griffin McCoy
I know
returning.
him.
It's not his debut; it's his return, fighting the big bad kaiju O'Shea Edwards.
I know him too.
I introduced you.
Yep.
And they're going to be battling it out. So we got a big card. Mike Skyros is going to be debuting.
I know him too.
Defending against Matt Makowski. He's returning. He is undefeated at Grind, I believe. So he's got
I don't know
himself a
him.
title match. Yeah, you've seen him. You've seen him. I think we might have. God, did we see him together? Maybe not. Maybe not. But I've seen him at a few different promotions. And we got more friends of ours, the Rabbit Honey Badger Ryan Mooney against
I know
Uptown
him.
Andy Brown.
I know him too. Well, yeah, Andy's mad at me.
And then ZPB against Dan Barry. Dan Barry back at Pro Wrestling Grind, which is good to
Yep.
see. And
I
then
know
main
Dan
event,
Barry.
they're taking on 2 of the guys. I'm sorry, right at the moment, I'm not placing their names. I think they were on one of the pre-show, like the dark matches at Grind, and they're teaming up against main event. And I wouldn't want to be in their shoes going up
I know
against main event.
I know main event too.
You do.
Yep.
So it's going to be a stacked card. If I were you, I'd show up.
Well, maybe. No, don't be putting words in my mouth. So Rip and Delmy come to my house and beat me up. Don't do that.
Well, Rip's still in Japan. Luckily for you, him and Perry are still in Japan.
So I better go there because then, yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what that means, but yeah, you
That means
should.
I can take his place in the ring. I'll come out of retirement, for
Oh
crying out loud.
Lord. Wow. Okay.
That
Well,
that's what I'm saying. I can
okay.
come out of retirement.
All right. That sounds good. Now, AEW, have they announced any of the matches for Collision? I know Kenny Omega is supposed to be there on Saturday at Mohegan Sun.
No.
Okay. Well, then I guess we don't have any matches to talk about yet, but I
No,
would guess
I didn't look. I didn't look. Uncle Joe Goulart, he just said, "Hey, do you want to go?" I was like, "Let me check with Rose." So I screamed across the room, "Hey, can I go to this?" She says, "To get you out of my hair, yes." And I shouldn't have said that. She said, "Yes, love, you could go hang out with your friends. Go ahead." So I said, "Okay." Then I call Uncle Joe back and said, "Uncle Joe, Rose said I can go." And then Uncle Joe said, "Of course she said you can go. You got to get out of her hair." And I'm like, "All right, I'm going to AEW. Yay!" And then that's it. I didn't look up nothing else.
And you can't borrow my Orange Cassidy shirt. I'm just saying, not
Okay.
loaning it to you.
I gotta say nice things about Orange Cassidy because he's gonna be at Rhode Island Comic Con. Get
He
your tickets
is.
now. Get there. Say hi. Get a ticket. Get an autograph.
Yeah, for
Yes.
God's sake, Darby Allin,
Yeah. Go see him.
DMD, Dr. Britt
Yes.
Baker.
Oh, I know her.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Good. Well, hopefully they're all going to swing by my table because I will be
Probably
at Rhode
not.
Island Comic Con.
No, I already told him to stay away.
Really?
I mean, I told them to stop by and say hi, but they're gonna be too busy.
And I'm wearing my Orange Cassidy shirt. He's got to stop by. I'm going to have him
Maybe.
sign it.
Maybe.
So,
I'll tell you what. When I run into him, when I see him, I'll tell him.
all right. So those of you who don't know, Rhode Island Comic Con is in Providence, Rhode Island. It's going to be on November 3 through 5, Friday through Sunday. And I will be there all 3 days. Lewis will be there all 3 days. If you're looking to get on the pre-show commission
Thursday,
list,
Friday,
message
Saturday,
me.
Sunday.
He's still interrupting me.
Thursday.
This guy's sick. He's only going to be here for part of the podcast. This guy's still interrupting me.
I have to. I'm going Thursday.
Yeah, but nobody else is going Thursday.
Only special people like me. No, I got to go there and work. See, that's the difference. You're a guest. I'm a worker. I got to go there and work. I got to set up, drop off camera equipment, set up stuff to me, sound check. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Are
I
you
got to do
bringing
all
any
stuff like
other
that.
angry geeks with you?
Yeah, hopefully.
Okay.
Hopefully.
All right.
And then Neil and I got to run around. Oh, pardon me. Mikey, because that's what they called Neil. Long
What?
story.
Why do they call him Mikey?
Long story. Long story. One of the what we call black shirts, which is management. Everyone knows Neil's my kid. Everyone calls Neil, but one of them mistakenly called Neil, my son Neil, Mikey for some reason. So it just stuck. So everyone just laughs and calls him Mikey. We all go with it. And I believe Mick Foley at TerraCon actually started calling him Mikey too, which was great because he had to escort Mick Foley to his table and did some stuff. Because
Okay.
Neil works the panel rooms with Jake Randall, who is the assistant programming director for ARE. So it's pretty wild.
Beautiful. All right. So hopefully we're going to see a bunch of you guys in Providence, Rhode Island. Nobody has verified yet that they're coming to the show, but hopefully some of our listeners are going to be there and we'll be able to
Well, I
see
mean, I
them.
have a lot of people verifying they're going to be there. Some people are even going there just to see me. Believe it or not, some people at my shop. Yeah, people from Toolmax Designing and Tooling Incorporated. Check them out online. Buy some airplane stuff. They are actually going there just to see me. Can you believe
So
that?
they probably need some original art. Send them my way. Great Christmas presents. Have them come by.
I do that all the time. And Ali, who I talked to tonight, by the way, check out his YouTube channel. Jack, you should be on his podcast. Did he invite you?
No one's invited me.
Oh, well, anyway, Ali is he had me and Chase Nichols going to be a guest. Tim Jones going to be a guest. I'm going to be a guest.
Okay.
Wow,
Hey,
that's
pretty
a stellar
impressive
lineup.
company. Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, check out Ali. Ali is a Angry Geeks alumni. Look, I used a big word. Check him out. And Uncle Jack. Speaking of the devil,
what's happening, brother? Looking forward to seeing you at the show.
I lost my train of thought. Actually, my kid is cooking dinner for his mom and I.
What's he making?
Hamburgers.
I knew you were going to say hamburgers.
Oh, the black lung got me. Oh my God. Anyway, yeah, stop by, see us, and we're gonna do and have some fun. So yeah, they want me to eat. They want me to eat the feet of cold.
Well, yeah.
Oh,
Right.
it's gonna be a blast at Rhode Island Comic Con. You guys got to come down. Anyway, Jack, what's the deal with Cody Rhodes, man? What
Oh,
is
you
the
mean
deal?
the busted ankle? Is that the new injury they got to put on him?
Well,
So
no, he came out to save Jay. Oh, and Jack, your guest is here. Ladies and
excellent.
gentlemen, boys and girls, it is now time for the top of the food chain to join us. The blood, sweat, and tears heavyweight champion of the world, and we mean heavyweight. He beat the cure for the 1, the 2, and the 3. The one, the only. You can call him late to the podcast, but don't call him late for dinner. The one and only Bobby Buffet. What's going on, big guy? How are you?
What an intro! What an intro, Lewis. I love it. Can I hire you to announce me to the ring?
Dude, I've been missing the BST shows because I've been touring with Contropolis, doing the comic book thing. So Kevin and Manny, I haven't been doing the thing for them guys. So yeah, brother, next time they're November, right?
November 11th.
Yeah, I'm gonna be at the November show. Jack's gonna be at the November show. So, brother, I'll call Kevin right now and say, dude, Bobby wants me to intro him to the ring, so I gotta do it. So
Champ gets what he wants.
you know they'll let me.
Absolutely.
They'll let me. Yeah, hell yeah, I'll get in the ring and do that. I mean, the last time when you and Andy, I don't know if you remember, you and Andy Brown had your tussle. We were at the health place. Remember?
Yeah, it was a beautiful building.
Yes. Now I had Andy Brown. Angry Geeks sponsored Andy Brown. Jack sponsored you.
Mm-hmm.
And I got up. We had to started yelling and screaming. They were supposed to give me a mic, but they never did. But that was friggin' brilliant, man.
Oh, amazing.
Before I go, I'm feeling underneath the weather, brother. I got to get off there, so I'm so sorry about this. I got to get ready for Rhode Island Comic Con. I got to get rid of this cold. I shut. Yeah, Bobby, bust his ass tonight for me, brother. But before we go, we're gonna play trivia because I got to do this trivia.
You're gonna come back to the end though. Set your alarm clock. Don't fall asleep.
I will. I promise I'll come back. I gotta take some NyQuil. I gotta get rid of this, or I can't be on stage with the celebs, man. I gotta rub elbows and kiss babies and shit like that next weekend. I have to do that because
kiss elbows and rub.
Yeah.
don't do the other thing.
Bobby knows you well.
Don't make me laugh, man. It hurts. I gotta get rid of this. All right, so it's time for Old School Trivia. Old School Trivia is brought to you by Alternate Universe LLC. Was also a partner with Blood, Sweat, and Tears Wrestling in Milford and New Haven, Connecticut. Make sure you go see Eric and the boys. Today, Wednesday, is New Comic Book Day. You guys should have been there picking up your polls.
Awesome.
Now, this is an easy question. It's an easy question today because I couldn't put much thought into it. Easy question, okay? What year was the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship introduced? What year was the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship introduced? Was it 1976, 1977, 1978, 1979, 1980, or 1981? We got comments coming in already.
Now, you said easy. I wonder what a hard question would be like.
Oh, come on, Bob. What the hell? You're the champ, brother. Come on.
Hey, the thing is, I'm not gonna lie, the Intercontinental Championship has been a thing my whole life. So I never really had a second thought about it. But I'm gonna go out on a limb here, right? And I'm gonna guess 19. My gut is telling me, and I always trust my gut. My gut is saying 1978. How right am I?
You are wrong.
I'm wrong? You just told the champ he's wrong?
Yeah, Lewis.
I'm your ladies and gentlemen, I forgot my introduction. I'm going to introduce you. Yes, you're wrong, Bob. Sorry. Jack.
Okay, so I was debating between 78 and 79 because I do believe the Intercontinental Championship was introduced in the 70s. So I am going with 1979 by process of elimination.
And you are right, Jack. You are right.
That
And
was
now
so
you
close.
can, Jack, we can give you a bonus question, and it will make up for all of the
Oh
bull crap
no.
that I put you through if you
Uh,
can tell me the month. Eric Hutton came in with 1979 as well, but
I
if
know
you
the
can tell
month.
me the month, if you can tell me the month, Jack, I will kiss your ring at Rhode Island Comic Con in front of the world.
That is a
If you can tell
proposition you
me the
cannot
month.
pass up.
Oh my. Oh geez. I mean, I guess I am going to I'm gonna explain my logic first. I'm gonna go with the month of WrestleMania. It's not so much the way it goes now,
Mm.
but I'm gonna say March
Jack,
because
if you
that
get this wrong, I'm not telling you what you have to kiss of mine.
well, hey, let's not be acting out your fantasy,
Bobby,
live.
why you gotta go there, brother? You're making me laugh. It's hurting my chest. Don't do that, man. No, you got a dirty ass mind, bro. I mean,
Who said what I was thinking? I just thought it was. Hey, wait. If I answer for him, could you kiss his ring and my BST championship?
oh, but absolutely. What you were gonna say?
All right, I think I know the answer
What is it?
because I'm
After I introduce you, I'll kiss the belt. But yes, go ahead.
gonna go with September, and the reason why I say September, I know
You
what that
are
sound is.
correct.
I know what that
September
sound is.
1st.
Well, let him explain his logic, Lewis.
Yes, explain your logic.
So there was who was the first intercontinental champion? I don't
Oh my
remember.
God! If you don't know this, I'm gonna shoot you.
It was stop it. It was I forget who it was, but
Pat
that's not
Patterson.
important. That's not. Oh yeah, it was Pat
This is
Patterson.
important. It's history.
It's not that. Listen, the important thing is I used to collect PWI magazines, right?
Yeah,
Nice,
Pro
nice.
Wrestling Illustrated. Okay.
There was an article that was talking about the fall of, like, not the fall of as in like the downturn of, but like the fall as in
Uh-huh.
the season of the
Yep.
Intercontinental Championship. And I remember specifically it was saying like fall, so I guess September, and I was right.
Nice.
All right.
Guys.
All right, Bob. I'm gonna see you in November, brother, and I'm gonna text Kevin, and I'm gonna say, hey, he wants me to do the intro, and I will do that. I'll come up with a brand new one for you, bro. Uh, be
Mm,
safe until then. All right.
you too, my friend. I hope you feel better.
Thank you, Jack. I'll text you tomorrow, brother.
Well, you're gonna come back and get
Yeah,
us out of here. Otherwise, we'll be podcasting until
All night.
tomorrow.
I
I'm
will
down.
come back up in a bit. All right.
All right, Lewis. I appreciate it. Bobby, I'm so glad you're here. And the beauty of Lewis not being here is he won't interrupt me for the next 45 minutes. It's incredible. Less than that, less than 35 minutes. I'm not a math guy. But anyway, thank you for being here because I'm really psyched to talk to you. And I've had the pleasure of getting to speak to you in person a few times. And
Absolutely.
and I've been able to say this to you, but I wanted to say it here on the podcast that I think there's a lot of wrestlers who are extremely skillful and their craft is honed very nicely. But I think you've got something that they don't, and there is like this intangible charisma. And I don't know if how it comes across for you, because as a fan, I'm sitting out there for the whole show, but it's a really different vibe when you come out. And I don't know if that's something that you hear a lot, or if people are just talking about your move set and the buffet line and all that. But do people talk to you a lot about like a charisma overload?
Yeah, they definitely do. It's always so flattering to hear. I mean, I can listen to it all day. I'm not gonna lie, but it's actually really interesting. Like, for people to say that, I'm so charismatic because I mean, while 100% of the time I am being myself, there's also this very overwhelming sense of anxiety. I feel like a big majority of the time, like especially wrestling. Like, you know what I mean? Like before I go out of the curtains, like I'm always worried about whether the fans will like me or not, whether anything could get messed up, because that's a big possibility every time I step into the ring. But I mean, honestly, I feel like me being my full self kind of warms me up to people in a way. And for the most part, it's been working. So that's what I just want to keep doing, share my authentic self with the world, and hopefully people will like me for me.
Awesome. I mean, it's really what every artist is looking for, right? Because you want to be able to feel good and not have to make excuses about what you're doing. And when you do present yourself authentically, it's like, it's got to be a great feeling knowing that you're accepted. Because I remember the first time I got to see you live was against Uptown Andy Brown, who's another guy who, like, if you didn't necessarily know him and you just like read about what he does, you might not realize the reaction he gets, because he's got a similar thing. When he comes out, like, people react in a big way, and they really do. And so when you guys fought each other, I remember when your entrance music hit, people were chanting "eat," and I was like, oh my god, whoa, look at this reaction. And then when you came out, there was this big pop, and it was awesome. And you haven't been doing this all that long, and all of a sudden, whammo, you're getting a bigger reaction than I heard all night for guys who've been doing it for a long time. And nothing against them, but it was just a really cool matchup, by the way, which I'd love to see again.
Hey, well, speaking of that, we're actually wrestling tomorrow at Wrestling Open. So if anybody has IWTV, you can check that out live at 8 p.m. Sorry for the little plug ski. But yeah, I mean, that was the first time I've met Andy Brown in person as well. So, I mean, like, I knew about his resume, because anytime you're facing someone, you look them up and you kind of try and study to see what things you guys could do together to make magic. But man, to his credit, like you were saying, when I came out, I felt very comfortable with the reaction I received. But then when he came out, he was kind of way more in his element, you know what I mean? And I learned so much from that match. It was so fun. Like you said, it was one of the funnest matches I've ever had in my short career, honestly, but I'm blessed. I got to do a lot of cool things, but it was definitely one of the funnest matches I've had. I've learned a lot, and I would do it a million times over.
Nice. I mean, as a fan, I could be there every week to see that. And I'm so sorry I can't be in person for Wrestling Open, but I do indeed know that the Halloween themed show is in fact Bobby Buffet versus Andy Brown, and I'm super pumped about it. The following night, I'm going to be seeing Andy Brown again, and I'm hoping that I'll be seeing you in the near future at Pro Wrestling Grind, which I think is a place you'd fit in extremely well in. And also, the other thing I was going to say to you is congratulations on that excellent win over Jay George at Wrestling Open last week.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I mean, he didn't see that buffet line coming, but what he doesn't know is it comes from every meal. You know what I'm saying? I never leave without finishing my plate, and Jay George was just, too focused on doing his little movie clips to find out. But yeah, I'd love to get in that Pro Wrestling Grind. I mean, this year has been a year where I made at least 10 debuts, different places. I've been all over the country. I've been out of the country, you know what I mean? It's been real cool to see what like pro wrestling has done for me. Like, I don't know, it's just such a surreal feeling. Like 12-year-old me would be like giggling like a little girl right now.
That's so great.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you have so much in front of you, right? I mean, that's the thing. I mean, you're just on the appetizer right now. You got a whole long way to go to get to dessert.
Oh man, like I haven't even touched the surface of like, not even like, there's people I know who have like 10 years of wrestling experience. Like, they've wrestled hundreds of matches and all this stuff. And I just broke 100 like a couple months ago. You know what I mean? Like, I really like, I know I've been training for a while, but a lot of people don't realize I haven't really had that much wrestling experience. In the sense where, you know what I mean? Like, I haven't been like a wrestling veteran, as some people would say, to that extent. I'm kind of just learning and going along, and I'm just blessed to have the experiences that I've had, and like, been the places that I got to go, all the people I've got to be around. I think it's really helping me out, like, in a huge way.
Yeah, because I mean, I've only got to see you live a few times, but I remember your match with Travis Jacobs was a
Hmm.
really hard hitting, awesome match. And it was the first time I'd seen Travis Jacobs live. I mean, I've seen him, on IWTV, and of course, I saw him on Monster Factory, which we'll get into a little bit. Um, but that match was stellar.
Thank you. It's something it's interesting actually. Travis Jacobs was the first person I've ever had a match against.
Oh
He
wow.
like my first practice match. He led me through a match and made me look like $1,000,000. I have it on video. And you know, throughout my wrestling career, like I've wrestled him a whole bunch of times. He was originally the one who had held the Monster Factory Championship for the longest amount of time. I wrestled him so many times throughout my reign. We kicked it off with that big 2,300 arena show at in June, and he beat me to take the title back after I broke the record, and we've kind of had this like rivalry, like our careers been intertwined almost. You know what I mean? All like forever, and I don't think it's gonna ever go away. I think we'll be rivals to the end, honestly.
That's awesome. The Fight Forever chant needs to come out.
Yeah, I'm down for it. Every single time is something different.
Yeah, right. And I mean, and you said, you've only really recently broken the 100 match mark, and you were the champion for almost a year at Monster Factory, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that's impressive. And you've already wrestled the 2,300 arena. I mean, that's crazy.
Hey, like when I was saying before, like I'm so blessed. Not only did we get to wrestle in the 2,300 arena, I got to main event, sold out building. You know what I mean? We were filming the reality show at that time. I got to break the record. There's people who held that belt that are making millions of dollars right now. Damian Priest held that belt. Matt Riddle held that belt. Steve Macklin held that belt. You know what I'm saying? Abyss held that belt. There's so many people in this business making stellar money on TV who have held that belt. And for me, that was my first ever championship ever. And I got to, break the record and I got to do all these cool things. It's like, there's no way else for me to look but up, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, look at you now, like Blood, Sweat, and Tears champion. That was an amazing match, by the way. That was phenomenal. You guys had a
Thank
fatal four-way that was bonkers. It was all over the place. It was literally all over that building, which, by the way, I don't know how you feel as a wrestler, but I love that venue.
Oh, it was beautiful when we walked in and I got to feel the vibes. It pretty much gave me 2,300 vibes, but like for Connecticut, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I can't wait to make magic in that building. I was telling Harry, like, I want to make people know BST as as like the promotion that is to be in Connecticut. You know what I mean? And as a champion, anybody who comes my way, anybody who wants to step up, anyone who wants to challenge me, they better be ready to go through some stuff that they think they're going to take the title from me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and we talked earlier about Andy Brown, and he's the Blitzkrieg Pro champion. You're the BST champion. I think that would be an amazing match. I mean, I don't know how much you could talk about it, or even if you want to, but Restival's coming up, and I know a lot of the companies are going to be there, and who knows who's going to cross paths, and who knows what's going to happen on Wrestling Open tomorrow night. I
Yeah.
mean, so I don't know. I think the future's super bright. I hope that you're going to be at Restival, and I know that you're going to be making a million other debuts. But as of right now, as far as I know, you've never wrestled an intergender match. Have you wrestled any intergender?
Yeah. I mean, they're very much like hard to come by for someone like me. I don't know. I don't know why. I'm really open to wrestling anyone, but I've had a couple matches with like the women who wrestle at the Monster Factory. Um, Such as the Unforgiven Salem. She's like new, but she's really good. You'll see her around. She made a debut at Coliseum Pro Wrestling not too long ago. Um, and the Notorious Mimi, obviously everyone knows her. She's been kicking ass forever.
Yeah.
Um, and I got to wrestle her a couple times, but for our Monster Factory TV, it's like hard to find. You know what I mean? It's in the archives somewhere. But I always think it's pretty fun. You know what I'm saying? Because you know women have shown like they hit just as hard, they can handle just as much. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole different time than how it used to be like when I was growing up. You know what I mean? And I think women have just as much to offer, if not more, than some of the wrestlers that are wrestling right now. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, some of them. There's a lot of badasses out there. Like Masha got ranked what, number 15 in the PWI 500 all the way. She was ranked higher than me. I'd wrestle her.
Yeah, that would be an amazing match. And I mean, kind of what I'm leading into is I have, and I know Harry's listening, so here's my opportunity to dream book a main event at Blood, Sweat, and Tears for 2024, because
Let's hear it.
at the show where you won the belt, Vita Von Starr also won the title, and I'd love to see champion versus champion. That's a kick-ass main event.
Oh, I'd kick her ass too, by the way. No, I'm kidding. She's freaking awesome. I see her everywhere. She's been killing it. And like she's so unique. She's so unique. And nowadays, like I would love to wrestle her, honestly. She's really, really good. But like you were saying also, like I don't wanna let it be lost. Let's put it in the air now. It has been a dream of mine to wrestle at WrestleVille. So nice. I would love to be there. If any of the companies, and there's a lot of companies that I've been around, you know what I mean? So, you know, hopefully this year we can make it happen. Last year I was trying to, but we weren't able to make it happen. But this year it's a very big possibility.
Yeah, good. I mean, as a fan, you know, take my money, because I'd love to see you as part of that show. It's such an awesome showcase, and you've wrestled for Wrestling Open. Like I would say, like getting to be kind of a regular there. You've been there quite a bit over the last, you know, what, I don't know, 5-6 months. Have you wrestled any matches for Beyond, or has it all been with Wrestling Open?
It's all been with Wrestling Open, but hopefully very soon we get to the Beyond portion. You know what I mean? I've been making my way. And it's not a close drive, you know what I mean? That's a 5-6 hour trip every time. But I've been making my way up there since November of last year. That's I made my debut there. And you know, it was sporadic at first, but I think I'm starting to get into the swing of things there. And I'd really like for that to be a place that I'm at very, very regularly, you know what I mean? Like permanently. Because it's a really good locker room. All the people are really awesome there. They're really like focused. And it was the first time in a long time that I've been in a locker room where I felt like, you know, I needed to not only like be the example, because like, you know, I'm the person that leads by example at the Monster Factory. But now it's time for me to be a sponge and absorb all the knowledge I can there, because there's so many wrestlers who are way better than me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that's really hard, like any kind of art, like pro wrestling or visual art or music. I always think it's really hard to rate people. Like, you know, I know like there's all like the wrestling PWI lists and all that kind of stuff, but it's really hard for me to think about rating all of you, because like, what's the rubric? Like, what are you basing this on? Is it just like championship accomplishments? There's so many things that you bring to the table that, you know, someone like Lucas Chase brings different qualities. So I always find it to be kind of mind bending to like try to rate you guys against each other.
Yeah. And I mean, it's interesting also because, you know, different people will bring different results out of you. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like there's been times, and the Northeast scene hasn't really got to witness it yet, but you know, there's been times where I had 20-minute matches. There's been times where I had 30-minute matches. I entered first in the Royal Rumble and, you know, defended the title, and I lasted all the way to the end. You know what I mean? So Bobby Buffet can go. I wrestled 30 minutes with Silas Young, and we were doing bumping fees at 22 minutes in, nice. Which is ridiculous. But you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I mean, I think soon, hopefully sooner rather than later, the Northeast scene could really see just how much I have in the tank, and it will, you know, lead to definitely more high-profile matches and stuff like that. But that's something I've been kind of hoping to share with the whole world, not just, you know, New Jersey, because they know.
100%. Yeah, 100%. I've said this to some other people that I was fortunate enough to be able to talk to. And I feel like you, in terms of like your presentation, and you have like this really versatile character / gimmick, if you want to call it that. it reminds me of guys like Big Game Leroy and Bobby Orlando, who I think have pricelessly awesome characters where there's so much you can do. It's so rich with the ideas. And I really think of you guys as artists. I mean, I feel like you're all super creative and you're not just going out there in black tights and throwing an arm lock on. You're going out like Bobby Orlando, I think, is one of those guys. Like, I'd love to see you guys in the ring together. I know you've been on the same shows, but the creativity between the two of you, what could happen with Bobby Jr. and like, God knows if you're having a goat sandwich on the way to the ring, there's so much there. It just feels like this embarrassment of riches.
He's awesome. Let's give a shout out to Bobby Orlando. That's my guy. He's a really good dude too. That's one thing that will never be lost on me. He's a really good guy. But yeah, I would love to wrestle Bobby Orlando. I remember the first time I met him, he got a super loud pop. You know what I mean? And I just, in my head, I'm like, dang, what do I have to do to be like that guy? But I think what I kind of gathered from watching him work all these, like pretty much all these years, I think I've been around him for like at least one or two. I don't know if he knows that or not, but it's that it seems like he's always just being his genuine self and having fun. So I kind of just took that, you know what I mean, and did that as my own. Like, I don't really call Bobby Buffet really like a character because, I'm the same way outside of the ring that I am in the ring. You know what I'm saying? I'm a fun-loving guy. Of course, I love to eat. You know what I mean? And I'm just, I'm charismatic on 10. I'm a silly guy. I like to have fun. But when I need to be serious, I can be serious.
Phenomenal, man. I'm hoping that match gets booked soon as well. And I'd almost don't want to say wrestling open because I want to see the match go longer than 4 or 5 minutes. That one, I'd like to see a good 15 minutes at least, like minimum.
Yeah, and he can go too. Like,
yeah,
I've seen him have like barn burners with people. So let's do it, Bobby. Bobby versus Bobby with Bobby Jr. as special guest referee. Let's do it. Fraternity
awesome.
battle. Let's go.
All right. You guys listening, Rip, hopefully you're listening. Eric Hunting has a question for you. He asks if you prefer one-off matches or a storyline driven series of matches.
I definitely prefer storyline series driven. Like, everything in the ring hurts for the most part. You know what I mean? And like, I've accepted that wholeheartedly. If we're gonna do this, you know what I mean? It's not ballet. It's not like just fake as fake as people like to call it. I know it's not real, but you know what I mean? I'd like to at least have it mean something, because when it means something, then I can put my full creative like feeling into it. Like you said, you think of us as artists, and it pretty much is that. Every time I'm in the ring, from the moment I step out into the curtain, I'm ejecting all the feelings, you know what I'm saying, into what I'm doing, hoping everyone else gets inspired or they feel something from that. So it's better when it's a storyline.
Yeah, right. Absolutely. I agree. I enjoy it more as a fan too. And it's funny because my son, who unfortunately hasn't seen you wrestle yet, but he always would say to me, like, we'd go to wrestling shows and he'd be like, how come that guy is just dressed in like the regular same old gear and he doesn't have like a something like special moves and like that make him stand out? Like, I don't remember his name. And I was like, wow, I mean, a very interesting observation, for at the time was like 14 years old. So I think that you're like the opposite in every way. I feel like everything about you, it isn't happening by accident. Like the gear you have is super cool. I think you just got a new logo recently that I thought was phenomenal, like really pops. Like your gear's cool, like your mood is cool. The idea of like coming to the ring with food, like to me, it just opens up all these like storylines and ideas and like fun, because I think there's some matches where like maybe fun isn't as abundant as it could be.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think the biggest thing that people struggle with, and it took me a while to kind of grasp onto this, but if I feel like if we all remember what got us into wrestling, you know what I mean, then it would be easier to invoke feelings from the crowd. You know what I mean? Like, I was big on people like Rey Mysterio and Shawn Michaels because, they always made you feel. You know what I mean? It was,
Right.
They don't do anything. Well, they do things, but it's never anything super grandiose. You know what I mean? As far as like moves or anything, but it's just they make it so interpersonal. You know what I mean? And that's all I try to do is make a connection with the crowd. I remember one time I wrestled in Canada, and this was in July. My first time ever wrestling for this promotion, Courage Pro, awesome place. I came out to the ring. The crowd, they kind of got what was going on. I came with food, so I was getting beat up outside the ring, and I'm on the ground selling. There's a fan like, "Would you get up if I got you a hot dog?" I'm like, "Yeah." So he literally went to go buy me a hot dog. I took a bite, then I'm slowly hulking myself up, and then like one of the heels came out, smacked it out of my hand, and then I just fell back down. Like, oh my gosh, amazing stuff like that. It just got a crazy reaction.
That's odd. Well, because it was so authentic, and people could sense that.
Exactly. But
That's
it's
so
fun
great.
stuff like that like just works.
Yeah, no, 110%. I just feel like there's not enough of that in wrestling, and like been really fortunate to have a lot of people on the podcast, and there's been people who I've asked, like, I wonder, like, does it ever occur to you that you have to think about if you want to make it to WWE or AEW, or the things that you think about that you have to change for them to want you? And I feel like you're one of those guys, like, there's no doubt, like, all you have to do is do what you're doing. Like, it's not like you'd have to go like, oh gee, I better come up with a way to get people to like me. You've kind of got it all happening already, which I feel like must feel good to you. And I don't know, like, if you think about it in those terms, because I know on Monster Factory, you talked about the idea of maybe going to Impact at some point. Do you have like any specific companies that you have a thought about where you'd fit in best if you were thinking about like TV wrestling?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, Impact is still number one on my list of where I think I could like really grow and flourish right now. And the reason I say that is because like, it seems so inclusive. I've been there a couple times. I've got to, talk with a lot of people who work there, and every time I was there, I didn't really feel out of place. I didn't really feel like I wasn't welcome. I didn't feel like an outsider, and that's something I really appreciated because, like I said, sometimes in like in my on the inside of me, like I'm kind of anxious about like making anyone upset. I don't want to step on anyone's toes or any of that stuff. Um, but I've always felt like everyone there was super welcoming, and that's something I'd love to like kind of grow up in a company like that. But my dream has always been WWE. You know what I mean? And there's goals there, and I know I'd like to think that I'm ready for whatever comes right now, but obviously there's still a lot of work that can be done, and I'm never going to let off of the gas pedal. I think one of the biggest things I've tried to make a point of. I don't know if you've seen the Monster Factory show on Apple TV.
I have.
You have. Thank you.
Oh yeah, I loved it.
It's been awesome. If you guys didn't get to check it out, please check it out on Apple TV Plus. It's a beautiful show. It just details everything about me trying to make it along this journey. And when we were filming that show, everyone was kind of in the mindset to where like once this comes out, everyone's gonna be freaking set. You know what I mean? And I never wanted to subscribe to that just because I didn't want to let off of the gas pedal. So
Right.
I think like one of the best compliments I get was like when people see the show and then they see me in person, they're like, "Yo, you lost so much weight." And it's like, yeah, it's because I didn't want to stop working. I didn't want it to seem like, oh, because I got a TV show coming out. I don't want anyone to think I'm lax or just chilling out. Like, like I want to keep on working, keep on chasing this goal because it's never going to stop. You know what I mean? I don't want anyone to think that I'm just complacent.
Yeah, because I think like what makes you so strong as a wrestler to me, and again, I think of you as an artist, you're just using a different set of brushes and pens than I am. But like I think that it's obvious that you're interested in moving forward and doing something different, doing something new. You're not phoning it in. It would be like, if I appeared at a comic convention and drew a shitty Batman, that's the one everyone's going to put online. Right? And it's the same thing with your matches. If you phone in a match and you're just like, oh, here I am, same gear, same stuff, doing the same moves, that's the one that everyone's going to see on YouTube, and that affects, I think, the way people perceive you. And I feel like, again, like all the times that I've gotten to see you, whether it's IWTV or live, it always feels fresh. It always feels like you're moving forward. Like this isn't going to be the same Bobby Buffet that I'm going to see next year. And I feel like fans appreciate that.
Awesome. I mean, that means a lot to me because that just gives me the confidence to keep on going. You know what I mean? Um, but yeah, I always try to make it so, like, as I'm growing as a person, like I said, since I don't really see myself as like necessarily a character, Bobby Buffet is going to develop just as much as I do. You know what I mean? And that's just what I want to keep bringing to the people. As I become a better person, so will Bobby Buffet.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, and it just feels like you're going like full speed ahead. I mean, this short period of time, like you said, you've done like a laundry list of accomplishments, and you're like genuinely humble about it, which I think is so huge too, because you do meet people in all different fields of creativity who get a little full of themselves and they can bite
Very
them in the
true.
ass, and I think that those people sometimes, promoters or whoever don't want to work with them because they're kind of a pain in the ass when they could work with somebody else who might draw a similar way and they're going to be easier to work with. So I feel like you've got like a winning attitude and you kind of got the whole package that, granted, not taking anything away from the Monster Factory training, because I'm sure they train the hell out of you, and they showed a lot of that. But at the same time, there's things that can't really be taught. There's guys like we just had Twitch on last week, really
Oh,
interesting
awesome.
guy. Yeah, and it was
Yeah.
super cool to hear like his perspective. And he just has, again, he's also like just really authentic about how he's coming across. He's not going out of his way to do all kinds of weird twitches, and he's not doing that. And I think if he
Mhm.
did, it might come off in a negative way. And I feel like he handles himself, another guy, who I think is just really interesting to see evolve over time.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, honestly, like he's been wrestling before me, and the him that I know now compared to like the him when I first met him. Oh my gosh, such a like a 360 turnaround, but almost like more than a 360, maybe like a 540 or a 720. Like he's 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 developed so like amazingly in the last maybe 2 years. And I think it was like, just him really reigniting a passion for like, wrestling and training at the Monster Factory. Like he's been there more often now. He's doing more, and I just love to see it for him. Like I'm so happy for him. He
Yeah, it's
deserves all the flowers.
yeah, no doubt, because he could do stuff that could come off as like hokey shit, because people I think who watch Monster Factory know of his passion for music. Like he could come out and do honky tonk man shit, but that would just come off like, we've seen that, like you're gonna bust a guitar over somebody's head, been there, done that, and he doesn't go there. And who's
Right.
to say, like at some point he might come up with a creative idea to incorporate his love for music. So again, I just feel like it's one of those I guess I'll call it a gimmick, even though it's really him. But I think he could do so much with developing his persona in wrestling that could be very authentic, and it may just naturally, organically happen.
Yeah. Like I'm pretty excited to see actually where he goes like
Yeah.
in the next couple years because I mean honestly, just this 1-2 year turnaround for him has been kind of exponential. And I know like pretty much people say the same thing about me, but it's like interesting seeing it happen to someone else. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
especially when it's someone that's your friend, it kind of just hits a lot better. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And I'm
no
so
doubt.
happy for him.
Yeah, right. I mean, it must be super satisfying to see good people succeed. I mean, I always feel good about that. It sounds like you have the same kind of ideology. Um,
Absolutely.
I guess we don't have too much time left, so I wanted to ask this. So, outside of anything we might have learned by watching Monster Factory, do you have any passions outside of pro wrestling? Like, are you a gamer? Do you have anything that you do to get you hyped up for shows or even to wind down when you're not wrestling?
Mm-hmm. So I don't. I know it was touched on a little bit in the Monster Factory series. Like I made my own theme song, so
Yes.
I do make music as well. Like and I do all types of stuff. Like I play guitar, also I play keyboard, all that stuff. I think my creative juices kind of flow everywhere. Like my mom said, it's kind of hard for me to find one thing that I can just like put all my energy into. But wrestling became that thing. But I am a huge gamer. I've been PlayStation gang since I was like 6 years old. My PS5 is literally sitting over there calling my name right now. But I'm big on that. I'm big on anime. Like I'm a big Dragon Ball fan.
Okay.
Usually before shows, like I'm so anxious about what's going to happen. Usually I have like my headphones in and I'm listening to music, trying to kind of trying to get in the zone. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
once you go out that curtain, you can't go back until it's over. You know what I mean? So that's basically like I like to do stuff like that. I like to hang out with my friends when I get the chance. People I
Right.
love. I just like to be around positivity. Anything positive, I'm with it.
Right on. That's phenomenal. I mean, it comes off in the way you appear. I think it's why people like you so much. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
here's a guy I'd hang out with. Eric Hunting has one more question. He wants to know if you have a favorite comic book character.
Yeah, Batman, easy.
The right answer.
Easy.
Yes.
Easy.
Yes.
Batman's my favorite superhero all
right.
time.
Oh,
Absolutely. No question about it. No hard answer here.
fantastic. Well, the next time I see you, I'm going to make sure I get you some of the Batman stuff I worked on.
For real?
Definitely. Oh my God.
Gosh. Come
Yeah.
on. That's so nice of you.
Oh yeah, we'll make it happen. I'm going to be at the Rhode Island Comic-Con next weekend. So I always, kind of nerdy, like skulking around in the dollar bins, trying to hope that some of my stuff's in there. So I'll try to find some of the Batman stuff and deliver it to you in November, because I'll see you at the show, whether Lewis does or not.
Awesome.
Oh, he's back. He's back.
I will be there because I told the champ I'm going to do his intro.
Okay.
Absolutely. And you can't let the champ down.
Right.
Oh, brother, I won't do that. I promise you, Bob. Excuse me, guys. I will text Kevin and I will tell him that I'm gonna step into the ring one last time, but I'm gonna not to actually get into a skit, not into do anything, but I'm going to see the voice mod is off, so now you can actually hear me. I am going to I'm gonna intro you. I'll be your special manager for that one night. How about that?
Nice. You don't want to take like a bump or anything? Not even just
I
one?
can't with my back and my ankle anymore. I can't do that anymore, brother. Seriously, with the fused ankle, I can't because it'll mess up everything. But
I feel
plus
that.
my wife will be mad.
Yeah,
we don't want to make Rose
her
mad.
No, we can't make Rose mad. So
keep everybody happy. But we also want to make sure we don't shortchange Bobby Buffet. We need to let all of our listeners know, where can they find you on social media, and do you have any shows except or beyond the Wrestling Open show tomorrow night where fans can come see you?
Yes. So listen, everything is right on my Linktree. I just made a Linktree Pro, super helpful tool, right? You can get tickets to all my shows. Every Friday in Jersey, we have Monster Factory TRL, Total Wrestling Live. November 11th, I'm there for Blood, Sweat, and Tears, United by One. You know what I mean? That's in Hamden, Connecticut. The 12th, we're back in Gloucester City for Pro Wrestling R, the 3rd anniversary show. I can't wait for that. The 18th, Turkey Slam, our biggest show of the year at the Monster Factory. Turkey Slam, Bobby Buffet is getting a plate. November 19th, Fight Pro Wrestling, Gloucester City. We're going crazy. Me and Isaiah Frazier, we're the cookout, going against Primal Fear, two guys that started from the Monster Factory when I was a young jit. But we're going crazy this year. Wrestling Open is every Thursday forever. So Real Bobby Buffet on Instagram, you can find everything there. Everything Bobby Buffet. Merch, the TV shows. You can see my Talk is Jericho podcast. You can find all the stuff I've ever done off that link tree.
It's a veritable smorgasbord.
Let's go.
Awesome. Bobby, we don't want to take much more of your time, but we're gonna be running out of time in about 30 seconds. But if you have a moment to hang out before we leave, I just wanted to make sure I got to say bye to you. But I want to let people know you can also find both Lewis and I at the Rhode Island Comic-Con, November 3 through 5. I will be at a table. I think I'm next to Ron Mars and Joe St. Pierre. You guys know them from DC and Marvel. So we got a DC and Marvel group together there. So that should be fun in Artist Alley. Jack Purcell Inc. There's still a couple spaces left on my pre-show commission list. Gives me a little extra time to crank it out. Drawing The Mandalorian tonight. So hit me up if you're interested. And Lewis?
I'm going to be, you can find me every Monday night live streaming on the Angry Geek Show, every Tuesday night right here with Jack, as I'm his engineer and co-host on the Faces and Heels podcast. This Saturday is a special Angry Geek Show at 10 a.m. The guest, I can't say, but it's the Road to Rhode Island Comic-Con. And then next week, of course, we got the Halloween show coming up. And then Rhode Island Comic-Con, I'm going to be on and off the stage, man. I'm going to be with the celebs. I can't tell you who I'm working with, but oh boy, it's going to be super. If you see what I did there. And an old friend and I are going to be hanging out. So just make sure you come in. And of course, the Angry Geeks are going to be live at Rhode Island. Just wait for that big trailer to drop. But they're not ready for RICC fans or players. So make sure, come spin the wheel of gloom. Rhode Island Comic-Con. Just wait for the announcement of that panel, and you're going to have some fun. Inkslinger Jack Purcell, buy some ink, man. Buy some prints. That holiday season is coming up, like he said. And then wait for me, November 11th, I will be introducing the champ to the ring. Kevin, Manny, I'm calling you guys because I'm going to do it. I'm going to be on the mic because I'm going to break through ceilings.
Sir.
I'm going to bust through doors.
Yes, sir.
Champ. I'm walking the champ to the ring. I'm Lewis. That's Jack. That's the champ. We'll see you guys soon.
You have been watching The Angry Geek Show on Pod TV. Visit our website today. And for guest bookings, email us at theangrygeekshow@gmail.com today.